Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we are diving into something absolutely crucial. We're unpacking the 3 essential general activity metrics required by the SASB standards to successfully normalize your sustainability data. Honestly, getting this right is the absolute bedrock of sustainability reporting for home builders. Because let's face it, without a sense of scale, even your absolute best sustainability data is practically meaningless. Let's get right into it.
To really wrap our heads around this, let's think about the problem of scale for a second. I mean, how do you accurately compare a boutique builder who constructs, say, 50 custom homes a year with a massive multinational corporation delivering 50,000? If you're just looking at total energy consumed or total waste generated, the huge corporation is always going to look dramatically worse, simply because of their size, right? It's not an accurate reflection of their actual efficiency. Well, activity metrics act as the great equalizer here. They provide the critical denominators in our equations, turning those raw, overwhelming data points into a workable rate or intensity. This is exactly what gives investors, analysts the ability to make a true apples-to-apples comparison across the whole industry.
So here is our roadmap for today's explainer. First, we'll cover normalizing sustainability data. Then, Metric 1, controlled lots. Metric 2, homes delivered. Metric 3, selling communities. And finally, the normalization takeaway. All right, Section 1, normalizing sustainability data, the why. So, taking a look here, the IFHB 2023-12 standard outlines a pretty strict rulebook. It explicitly requires 3 specific quantitative activity metrics to normalize an operational footprint. And listen, these aren't just polite suggestions. They are the core baseline measures you absolutely have to use to give context to really complex topics like ecological impacts or resource efficiency. Think of these 3 metrics as, well, the essential framework that holds up your entire sustainability narrative. Without them, any data you report on energy, water, or waste basically just exists in a vacuum. It makes it literally impossible for stakeholders to evaluate your true operational efficiency.
Moving on to Section 2, Metric 1, controlled lots, setting the foundation.
Okay, so this first metric is officially designated with the SASB code IFHB000A. It requires a quantitative count of your controlled lots. Now, I know it sounds simple enough, but tracking this is actually incredibly complex, mostly because a builder's relationship with land just isn't always straightforward. It's the starting line of the entire development lifecycle. Land is literally the foundational raw material of a home builder. So, understanding exactly how much of it you actually control dictates the true potential scale of your future environmental and operational impact.
Now, what's super interesting here is the boundary. It's highly specific. The standard dictates that we don't just count lots owned outright in fee simple. You must also include lots contractually available for ownership like option contracts. You might be wondering, why do that? Well, because it reflects your true future footprint. A massive chunk of a modern builder's land pipeline is tied up in options, not outright ownership. If we ignored those, we'd be missing a huge piece of the operational pie. And remember, this is absolutely crucial. This isn't some rolling average. It is a precise snapshot in time, calculated on the exact last day of your reporting period. That ensures everybody is providing their inventory count using the exact same temporal constraint. No wiggle room.
Next up, Section 3, Metric 2, homes delivered, the output scale.
Designated as IFHB000B, this is where we shift our focus from the raw potential of the land to the actual physical output of the operation. By counting delivered homes, this metric gives us the ultimate measure of production volume for the reporting period. It shows stakeholders exactly what was finalized and handed over. It moves us from the realm of what we plan to build to what we actually put into the world, offering a definitive metric for the finished product.
So the crucial point we need to make here is the strict definition of a home. The standard explicitly covers single-family dwellings, whether they're detached properties or attached townhomes. But crucially, it also includes single-family units sitting within larger multifamily residential buildings. Yeah, that's right. If you're executing mixed-use or higher-density projects alongside traditional subdivisions, every single one of those units counts as a home delivered. This distinction is vital because, as you know, higher-density housing often has a vastly different energy and material profile per unit than a sprawling detached home. Defining it this clearly ensures absolutely nothing falls through the cracks of your reporting.
All right, Section 4, Metric 3, selling communities, the sales footprint.
Coded as IFHB000C, this quantitative metric tracks the number of communities actively generating sales. This is a big deal because it reveals the geographic and operational spread of your current revenue-generating assets. It basically gives stakeholders a clear map of your active footprint. It tells the market not just how much you're producing, but how wide your operational net is cast across different regions and environments at any given time.
The boundary constraints here are pretty tight. A community is only considered active under SASB guidelines if it is open for sales and, this is key, has a strict minimum of 5 homes or lots left to sell. So, why 5? Well, it smartly filters out communities that are essentially finished and just waiting to close on a straggler lot. Think about it. A nearly closed-out community just isn't generating the same level of traffic, marketing, or operational activity as a brand new subdivision. The 5-home minimum keeps the metric totally focused on truly active, high-impact sites. And, as always, just like our controlled lots, this is measured strictly on the final day of the reporting period.
Finally, Section 5, the normalization takeaway, tying it together.
So, you might be wondering, why on earth does SASB insist on such rigid, specific boundaries? Why fuss over the technicalities of option contracts or exactly 5 remaining lots? I know it might feel a bit like splitting hairs, but trust me, in the world of data normalization, precision is literally everything. Adhering strictly to these scopes ensures that when financial analysts or investors look at this data across the entire home building industry, the scale is perfectly normalized. Look, if one builder excluded option contracts and another included them, any subsequent intensity metrics, like energy use per home or health and safety incident rates, would be entirely skewed, basically useless. These strict boundaries guarantee that those all-important sustainability comparisons remain genuinely accurate and actionable. It creates a completely level playing field where true operational efficiency can actually shine through all the noise.
The standard explicitly reminds us that these metrics are intended to quantify scale and facilitate comparison in conjunction with your other data. Because without that exact normalization, your most impressive sustainability achievements completely lack context. I mean, a massive reduction in gross carbon emissions sounds amazing until someone realizes it's just because you delivered half as many homes this year, right? So I want to leave you with this provocative thought. Are you absolutely sure your data tracking systems are capturing every lot, every home, and every community exactly by the strict SASB rulebook, or is your entire sustainability narrative resting on a skewed foundation? Thank you for joining me on this explainer, and keep striving for clarity in your data.